Isak's Liverpool career might just be cursed. Mbappe matches CR7's Madrid record, Fiorentina have finally won a league game, and Morocco light up AFCON in acrobatic fashion. This is DMAC Daily. There are mixed emotions for the Liverpool fanbase from this past weekend. The positives being the Reds picked up a massive win on the road to Tottenham, their third straight Premier League victory, with their new signings promisingly all delivering. Wirtz finally got an assist alongside Frimpong. Ekitike continues to deliver the goods, and more importantly, Premier League record signing Alexander Isak popped up with a massive goal immediately after coming off the bench. But in incredibly unfortunate circumstances, in the process of scoring, he'd then be on the receiving end of a sliding challenge from Spurs' Van de Ven. It then became clear straight away that an injury had been sustained, with Isak unable to continue. And now, according to David Ornstein's reporting, the diagnosis is suspected to be a leg break, meaning Liverpool will almost certainly be without their Swedish forward for several months ahead. Now, there's a lot of opinions out there on Isak, and the reality is that this transfer hasn't really worked out thus far. But it is just objectively a cruel fate that upon immediately delivering a big moment, the biggest of his Liverpool career thus far, a major injury setback follows. The football gods showing no mercy, focusing on the game itself, and it was an aggressive and weird contest overall. 2 red cards, some nasty tackles, Tottenham losing their 5th game at home this campaign. Yet despite the chaos of it all, the 9 men of Spurs somehow pushed Liverpool all the way. They came very close to equalising at the death. Separate note, Richarlison has really mastered the art of the consolation goal, hasn't he? Bro turns into prime R9 when the game is seemingly out of reach. Elsewhere in the Premier League, and Arsenal remain top of the table heading into Christmas thanks to Gyökeres's lone goal from 12 yards. Hardly a spectacular outing, but hey, 3 points is 3 points. Clean sheet away from home at a venue Arsenal traditionally struggle at, and no major injuries too. The only downside is that City aren't slowing down. The inevitable Erling Haaland with a brace and an assist. The robot even hitting the robot, overtaking CR7's Premier League tally in 122 less games, may I add. And in peak Haaland fashion, bro was then hammering a tomahawk in the change room at full time. More concerningly, this City team is improving defensively. Since that crazy game away at Fulham, they've kept 4 straight clean sheets against English opposition. Foden is back to his best. Shaqiri is really starting to find his feet. Reinders is also improving. They're a real problem, as are Aston Villa, having defeated Emirates United to go 3 points shy of Arsenal, their 10th successive victory. They are Europe's most in-form team right now. Morgan Rogers with back-to-back doubles, 2 stunning strikes today, as cold as it gets. Going down the table slightly, and Chelsea v Newcastle was a classic game of 2 halves. Voltemata at the double in the first half before Chelsea woke up and decided to take this match seriously. Reece James with a magical free kick before Joao Pedro's equaliser. The Chelsea skipper then made a huge tackle late on to save his team. It is such a relief seeing this man fit, healthy, and dropping top performances consistently. Going down the table much further, and Wolves have hit a new low. 10 straight Premier League defeats, this time at the hands of Brentford, whilst Burnley dramatically secured a point away at Bournemouth but remain firmly in the relegation zone. Speaking of newly promoted teams, what a couple of weeks it's been for Leeds United. The set-piece demons now hitting Crystal Palace for 4. Dominic Calvert-Lewin scoring in his 5th successive game with a brace. Reminder, Leeds signed him on a free transfer, quietly becoming one of the best value for money signings in the division. Shifting gears to La Liga, and Barcelona will head into the new year with a 4-point gap over rivals Real Madrid after a hard-fought win away at Villarreal. Now, it could have been a lot more tricky of a matchup had Renato Vega not lost his head completely. Bro tried to finish Jamal with that tackle, but it would be the La Masia wonder kid who would have the last laugh, scoring the second goal to end the calendar year of 2025 with 47 goal contributions. That's more than Ballon d'Or winner Ousmane Dembele's. Rafinha also delivered a top performance and was subsequently rewarded match MVP, although just quietly, I think the real MVP for Barca that evening had to be Joan Garcia. 5 saves made, 4 of which were genuinely outstanding. He is proving to be one of the club's best signings in recent history, an amazing goalkeeper and a massive upgrade on Ter Stegen. Meanwhile, Real Madrid also prevailed 2-0 over the weekend to ease the pressure somewhat on Xabi Alonso. Hardly a vintage display at the Bernabeu, but focusing on the positives. And Bellingham with a colossal header off of a brilliant delivery from Rodrigo. The Brazilian has seemingly earned the trust of Alonso and is now getting his mojo back, was at the heart of Madrid's attacking threat, and in the second half earned the home side a penalty, which Mbappe then slotted home coolly. His 59th goal in 2025 to equal Ronaldo's record for most goals by a Madrid player in a calendar year. Out of respect for the Portuguese legend, Mbappe even hit the iconic Su celebration. CR7 then taking to IG to show his support. Game recognizes game. But it wasn't all good news for the Spanish Giants. Vini Jr. once again underperforming. He was subject to several whistles throughout the match before being substituted. It's now 14 consecutive games without finding the back of the net, his worst run of form in 5 years. Then the social media spectacle ensued, changing his IG profile pic to an image of him in a Brazil kit and making a post with just 3 dots in the caption. Now, in isolation, this isn't all that newsworthy, but it does play into a recurring theme with Vini. After every bad game or frustrating individual moment, it's then a social media frenzy. Not a great look for the club, especially having been given the captain's armband too. Shifting gears to Italian football, and we would witness both the Serie A and Supercoppa this past weekend, but arguably the biggest headline of them all came from the bottom of the table in the top flight, with Fiorentina picking up their first league victory after 16 attempts, smashing Udinese 5-1 at home. Granted, the away side went down to 10 men early on, but this performance just showed how much quality this Fiorentina side actually possesses. Look at the caliber of the starting 11. The goal scorers in this match, all top players. Now, they're still languishing at the bottom of the division, but I think they're going to inevitably avoid the drop. There's too much talent in this roster. Surely they can overcome this terrible start to the season. The other notable Serie A fixture of the weekend had to be Juventus v Roma, as the Bianconeri prevailed at the Allianz. Lois Openda scoring his first Serie A goal. It's been a chaotic season, yet Spalletti's men now sit just 1 point shy of top 4. Whilst in the Supercoppa, Napoli took revenge on Milan thanks to goals from David Neres and Rasmus Højlund. They'll meet Bologna in the final tomorrow, who surprisingly sent Inter packing via spot kicks. Ciro Immobile with an emphatic match winner from the spot. Moving to the Bundesliga, and Bayern, as expected, made light work of Heidenheim with all the usual suspects involved. Elise, Diaz and Kane with goals. The Englishman grabbing his 100th goal involvement in the Bundesliga in just 78 games. That is elite stat padding, and ending 2026 with 60 goals for club and country. Meanwhile, Dortmund remain within reach, having dispatched a Borussia Mönchengladbach 2-0, and Leverkusen stunned Leipzig at the Red Bull Arena to leapfrog them into third place. Terrier and Schick scoring fine goals before 18-year-old debutant Montrell Culbreath came off the bench and scored a cracker to seal the 3 points. Not a bad way to introduce yourself to German football. The same could be said for Wolfsburg's Zenan Pecinovic, the former Bayern youth player, scoring his first Bundesliga goal and then hat-trick for Wolfsburg. Yet somehow it wasn't enough, as Freiburg stole all 3 points in a 4-3 thriller. Moving to international football, and AFCON is here. The opening ceremony was a spectacle, and then the host nation Morocco soon delivered on the pitch with a comfortable 2-0 victory over Comoros in front of over 69,000 fans. Real Madrid's Brahim Diaz with the opening goal of the tournament before an extraordinary bicycle kick from Ayoub El Kaibi sealed the 3 points. Football's craziest competition delivers an iconic moment on match day 1. If history is anything to show for it, there will be many more in the weeks ahead. But interestingly enough, a huge story pertaining to AFCON was revealed this weekend, in that from 2028, the tournament will be shifted to every 4 years rather than the traditional 2-year window. Additionally, a separate annual African Nations League will be implemented, one that will involve all 54 of the continent's members divided into 4 geographical zones, with games from September and October before the finals are held in November each year. So basically, Africa's own version of UEFA's Nations League. Not sure how to feel about all these sudden changes. Perhaps a deeper dive into the topic is needed, but if you guys have some strong opinions on the matter, do let me know in the comments below. Anyways, that's all for today's DMAC Daily. I'll catch you tomorrow.